pumped. We have no other emotions to explain, like to express ourselves. We are so proud of our national team.
We believed, and the ambiance was really good in the stadium. It felt like we were playing in Casablanca or in Fez.
We are, as Moroccans, we are very passionate about football. And the good thing is we are not just presenting Morocco here. We are presenting all the Arab countries and especially Africa, you know. This is a message to show the world we are on the track to be able to compete with the best.
Going behind the scenes of the biggest prize in football, this is World Football in Qatar on the BBC World Service.
The Morocco fans are still partying here in Doha after one of the biggest wins in their history. Hello from me, John Bennett, and welcome to another bonus edition of World Football in Qatar. The 2-0 victory over Belgium was their first at a World Cup since 1998. Morocco have huge support in Qatar for the tournament, most of them wearing the green and red of the nation's flag. So it's 3 points that will live long in the memory. And the North Africans now have a great chance of making the last 16, going into their final group match against already eliminated Canada later this week. Coming up on the pod, I'll be speaking to Didier Drogba and I'll be inside the Ghana camp ahead of their huge game on Monday. But first, to more of Sunday's drama and a meeting between two European giants. Germany, who was stunned when they lost their opening match to Japan, took on Spain, who won their first match against Costa Rica 7-0. It finished in a dramatic 1-1 draw to leave Germany still in with a chance of getting to the last 16 and Group E wide open. Sam Sheringham was at the Al Bayt Stadium.
Yes, John, a real heavyweight clash in this giant Bedouin tent in the middle of the Qatari desert. The first game of this World Cup, in fact, to feature two former winners, and it didn't disappoint. Spain were the more composed and easy on the eye and probably deservedly took the lead through Alvaro Morata, but Germany kept on fighting, and it was the 29-year-old striker Niklas Füllkrug who was perhaps an unlikely hero as he stepped up to seal a vital point with a brilliant strike into the top corner. And so, with their first World Cup point on the board, there was a palpable sense of relief among the German fans I spoke to as they left the stadium.
The spirit was excellent. You have the feeling that everybody has a mind. They give all the power they have, and they will win the game. And this was not the game and not the case against Japan.
It will be difficult now because they have only 1 point in the group and everyone else has a bit more, but nothing is impossible.
It was a difficult match, but the first goal to Spain, it was terrible, and then we come back.
What about Niklas Füllkrug? Has Germany finally found a number 9?
Yes, I think so. It's Niklas Füllkrug is a classic number 9, and we brought a number 9.
We are a tournament team, and I think we go the right direction.
So the real Germany, the Germany that we all know, the tournament specialists, are back?
Are back. I think Germany will fight, will come back, and nobody has forget the debacle 4 years ago in Russia. Was incredible. This debacle against South Korea, and nobody in Germany will accept this.
Meanwhile, across Doha, here in the Mishrab area of the city, there's another group of fans celebrating. Yes, it's been an incredible 24 hours for Costa Rica. Just a few days ago, they lost their opening match of this World Cup 7-0 to Spain. So nobody expected them to win their second game, especially because it was up against Japan, and Japan had just beaten Germany. But guess what? They did win. A 1-0 victory. They didn't have much possession, they didn't have many chances, but they got the win, and their World Cup is up and running, and these supporters are absolutely thrilled.
Amazing. As I think all the Latin American atmospheres, I think they are building amazing scenarios in all the World Cup. So we are very happy about the win and we look for more now.
Does it feel even better because of what happened a few days ago against Spain?
No.
Does it make the high even higher?
No, absolutely not. But what we have to forget quickly, that's World Cup about. Forget quickly about what happened if it's bad and then move on. I think it feels good, but now we need more, one step more. So just chill out and focus on the next game.
How difficult was it after the 7-0? How bad did you feel? Did you think at that stage you might bounce back?
Yeah, it was a hard night, but day after the sun rose again and we were back at it, went back to training, the team got together and we came today, showed hard and we took the game. So we're positive for the times ahead.
It would be one of the incredible World Cup stories if you were to lose your first game 7-0 and then go through to the last 16. So one last question for all three of you. Are you going to go through to the next round?
Absolutely. You're going to see us in the final, man.
Let's move on now to talk about the African teams at this World Cup, because after no wins in the opening round of games, there are signs of a revival after the victory for Senegal against Qatar and Sunday's incredible 2-0 win for Morocco over Belgium. But there's an argument to say that goals remain a problem. Only 7 have been scored by the African sides in 8 games so far. With Ghana and Cameroon in action on Monday, I've been speaking to an icon of football from the continent, former Ivory Coast striker and Champions League winner Didier Drogba. He was part of a generation of top African centre-forwards like Samuel Eto'o, Emmanuel Adebayor and Kanu. So I began by asking him what's happened to all the great African number 9s.
All the strikers who are representing us are not there. Victor Osimhen, Emerick Aubameyang, Sadio Mane. So it's difficult to score goals without strikers. So the team are playing, doing their best, but you need someone to finish the action, someone to create something out of nothing sometimes.
You mentioned just 5 African teams. The next World Cup will be 9, maybe 10.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be a way for African football at international level to really progress?
I think it's giving more chances to the African teams. When you know that the best teams are Egypt, who's not there, Ivory Coast is not there, Nigeria is not there. Who else?
Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast is not there, so we already have 5 teams. So imagine those 4. I mean, like I said, it's more chances for us to win games and to go through this first group.
One of the excellent things about this World Cup from an African perspective, all the managers of the African teams are African. The first time that's happened. Is that a sign of progress in African football, particularly from the coaching perspective?
I mean, it's a sign of progress for the African countries, but it's a sign of progress of football. Because before you haven't seen much African managers in football teams, in European football teams, and I think the more we're going to have, the more managers we're going to have in those best leagues, the more you're going to see good managers taking your role, the job at the national teams, and the more chances we're going to have to be successful. And I think that's how it works. So I'm really happy to see that happening. It's the beginning, and that's why I'll be so happy that we get results. But managing a national team, it's not about being African or not. It's about the quality of your work. And if you come from Japan and you manage an Ivory Coast national team and you bring results, everybody will be happy.
So it doesn't matter. You wouldn't mind if is it getting the best possible coach?
Obviously, it's better to get someone who knows, who understands the culture of the country. So it makes things easier to get results. But success is, football is a sport that we play everywhere in the world, so it's the same language that we speak, we understand. So for me, it doesn't matter, but I'm happy to see that happening.
The dual nationality issue, it's an issue for all countries around the world, but in African football it's come to prominence. Breel Embolo born in Cameroon, scored for Switzerland against Cameroon. How tough is it for these players to decide who to play for? Would you like to see more players born in Africa play for African teams?
Well, I'm an example of that. You know, I'm born in Ivory Coast, moved to France when I was 6, grew up in France, everything. I had the opportunity to... I'm also French, I've got both passports, so I had the opportunity to choose, and I decided to choose to play for Ivory Coast. Could have been something, another alternative to play for France. But in this case, I believe you play where your heart... I mean, the number one thing for me is to decide where my heart is the most, you know, and it was Ivory Coast. And for all those players, sometimes it's a choice of being rejected by their nation and having the opportunity to shine somewhere else. And everybody wants to play a World Cup, so that's for me. It's good for football. It's good for the players. So otherwise, imagine being rejected from your national team, from your home country, and not being able to play in a different color.
What's next for you, Didier? I think it's fantastic to see your generation of African footballers, so much to give back to the game. They're going into roles of prominence. Are you still keen to get into a powerful role in African football, Ivorian football, so you can make changes?
I think that's what we're here for. You know, we've played for. I mean, I played for 20 years in different leagues, and I've learned a lot. So I've got a lot to give back to my country, to the continent. It could be with working with the FA. It could be doing a private project to help those young players to be used to play at high level, which is not happening in Africa. You know, like there's no under 15, under 13 leagues. You know, there's no real under 17 leagues for them to play and to start their football education, which is really important. You need to educate those players at a younger age, like 10, 11, so they start to understand what is football. Football is not only about chasing a ball, it's playing with your mind, it's an education, you know, and the earlier you start, the better those players are going to be in the future. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Is it a tough choice for you, because your status, you could go and relax, couldn't you? But to go into one of those roles, it would be tough to make changes, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it's fun as well. It's fun. It's a passion. I'm passionate about that, and to see, you know, I'm really proud when I see players that have listened to all the advice that we've been given, and they succeed. You know, it's like I've contributed to that, you know, and I'm really happy about that. So no, it's relaxing, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
Ivory Coast, when are we going to see them back at the World Cup? Do you think there's progress there? It's sad not to see them here in Qatar.
I think I need to start playing again.
Yeah, come out of retirement, DJ. Come on, you can still do it.
No, because since my generation retired, we haven't qualified. It's a difficult momentum for us. We've been through a lot of problems in the country in terms of federation. You know, we have the federation has been sanctioned with the commission, and for a year, you know, we've been under FIFA's restrictions. So it's going to take time for us to come back. We got the African Nations Cup coming, which is, I think, going to help us to shine again, to come back again
in Ivory Coast, isn't it?
In Ivory Coast, to come again on the international scene, and let's see where we go from there.
Finally, quick one on your World Cup memories. I mean, you scored Ivory Coast's first ever World Cup goal. Is that the one memory that stands out? What is your favourite memory from World Cups?
My favourite moment from a World Cup is obviously that first goal against Argentina, first ever World Cup goal for Ivory Coast. But it was, I believe, my entry against Portugal I was injured.
2010.
2010. I wasn't supposed to play. I did everything in my power to play, and when I came during that game, the atmosphere was amazing, and the next game scoring against Brazil was a good memory as well.
I've got a few World Cup memories of you, Didier, mostly. I've interviewed players after games in interview rooms. I've interviewed or tried to interview Ronaldo, Messi, Salah, all the top names. The only time I've been injured trying to interview anyone is you, Didier, when there are scrums trying to get to you. Do you realise the impact you have sometimes when you walk through those interview rooms after World Cups? What's it like as a player when you walk through?
I don't know. I think having played in England and in France and in the best league in the world, obviously you attract a bit more people, a bit more journalists, and having played for one of the best clubs in the world, people are interested of knowing what are your opinions, what you want, what you're doing, how happy you are or not. So, I think I was blessed to have been able to live this kind of moments. I really enjoyed it, and it's the past now, and I'm on the other side and enjoying as well this moment.
Always brilliant to hear from the great Didier Drogba, the former Chelsea and Ivory Coast striker, an African football legend. So after talking to Didier, I've now headed to a team hotel being used by one of the 5 African teams at this World Cup. It's the Ghana team hotel. They lost their opening game narrowly to Portugal 3-2, a game which included a very controversial penalty which gave Cristiano Ronaldo that landmark goal, the first male player to score at 5 different World Cups. Now Ghana take on South Korea. It's a huge game, and I'm going inside the team hotel to talk to someone who will be a very familiar name for fans of the English Premier League. It's Chris Hughton, the former Brighton and Newcastle manager, and he's now working with Ghana as their technical advisor. So we're going inside to chat to him about this big game coming up and about how he's enjoying international football. Chris, thank you so much for talking to us. First of all, I know the result didn't go your way the other day, but the whole World Cup experience, what's it been like for you?
No, it's wonderful, and this is the reason why we're here. And you are right, it's not the result that we wanted. I think the pluses are very much that we finished in a good way, finished the game, and I think there was quite a nice feel about the team. And we were up against, of course, one of the quality teams in this World Cup. Some disappointment, which everybody is aware of in the game. But, we are here for performances over the 3 games, not just the 1 game.
Your role is technical advisor, I think I'm right in saying, the official title. Can you just tell me what that involves then? What are your main responsibilities here with the team?
Well, I think the wording of technical advisor or technical director can mean different things, and it depends in the perspective of the association that you're working for. But my role is very much a support role for the technical staff. We've brought in some new members as well, and we'd like to think that we are a very well prepared team and an organisation. So it's a support mechanism for the head coach, who's a very good head coach, and I thoroughly enjoyed working with them and the technical staff. So it's a support base for them, and also that in between the association, that link between the association and of course the technical staff and head coach.
Can you tell me about your love for Ghana and what attracted you to working for Ghana? I know you have close links to the country, don't you?
Well, I have close links. If I could tell you my full history, I've been fortunate enough to be involved in the World Cup with the Republic of Ireland, which is where my mother's from. But my father's from Ghana, from Accra, Jamestown, Accra. So I've been to Ghana on several occasions. So I've always had that link, and of course to be working for them in the capacity that I'm working for is something that I'm incredibly proud of. And I must admit, I've thoroughly enjoyed the involvement. We have a good group of players, an association that want to do the best that they can, and it's still a very exciting prospect for the team and the association to be here.
And looking from the outside, when I've followed Ghana over the years, it looks like a very special environment. I mean, I've seen the players do the initiation dances, and the singing on the way to games. Tell me about the atmosphere and tell me, did you have to do an initiation when you first started working with the players?
Yes, I did, and I can tell you that in all of my years as a player and a coach, it's the first initiation that I've done. But I must admit, I didn't mind doing it because of the feel. Everybody has done it. I mean, what the team have managed to continue is some of the traditions, which is so important. And you know, it's about African traditions. It's about an African team playing in the World Cup, and what Ghana brings to the continent of Africa. And there's some of the traditions that you never want to see, even though you would have a squad now where, you know, there would be a percentage of the squad that play for the country because of parentage and may be born and brought up in different countries. But it's so important that them traditions are maintained.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, the team spirit, because there are some new players that you've brought in. You've convinced to play for Ghana, Inaki Williams, Tariq Lamptey, Mohamed Salisu, some really good players coming in. But how has that affected the mood? Has that been a challenge to integrate them into the team without upsetting anyone?
No, it hasn't been a challenge, and I think it's only a challenge if you don't have players that are here for the right reasons, and everybody is here for the right reasons. For those that it is their first experience playing for the Black Stars, they are here because that was their choice, and they would have had other choices. So that's always a nice feel. It's a nice feel when somebody has chose to play for us because they wanted to, when they had other options, or potentially they could have other options. So I think it's also about the quality of the squad. If you are a player that's been involved with the Black Stars for many a year, you want the best squad possible. You know, even though sometimes it's maybe a player that might affect the position that you play in, but it's about having the best squad possible, the best competition possible, and we are at a stage now where we have, you know, a lot of players playing in good leagues, good clubs, and that makes the competition even greater.
How are you feeling about the game on Monday then, South Korea, after the defeat against Portugal when you were unlucky, so close to making it 3-3 near the end? How confident are you that you can win that game?
Yeah, well, I think the confidence comes from the feel in the group, and since the normal reaction after the Portuguese game was, of course, one of disappointment, and that takes a little while to get out of the system. But we are all used to it, and we have players that play at club level, and sometimes 2 games a week, and you get used to having to bounce back. You're getting used to having to put that defeat behind you, but particularly when you are in the stage that we are here. So the mood has been very good, I must admit, from the training yesterday to last night. We will train shortly. The mood is very good, and I think it's a realisation that it's a game that we need to do well in. But we are still here, and we are here for a reason. We played against certainly seeded the best team in the group against Portugal, and came close. So I think that's what will give the players the confidence of course, going into the game against South Korea.
And finally, Chris, I know you've got to rush off to training. I have to ask though, what was the initiation dance? What song was it? Could you choose the song, or was it the lads in the dressing room who chose it for you?
That is a good question, and actually I couldn't tell you. I know the song, so I certainly can't sing it for you, or I'm not prepared to sing it for you. But I must admit, it was an initiation that I didn't mind doing.
And it went down well?
And it went down very well. The only good thing is that in this day of social media where it all goes out on posts, my only request was that I will only do this providing nobody videos it, and they didn't. And I think when you're in this group, you want to, because that's the feel and the spirit that they have in this group, and for me not to do it, I think wouldn't have felt right.
Leading the conversation on the global game, this is World Football in Qatar on the BBC World Service.
Saturday night here in Doha was all about Argentina, and believe me, their fans are still partying after that 2-0 win over Mexico that kept their World Cup alive. Everyone's still talking about that long-range strike from Lionel Messi. It put Argentina ahead before Enzo Fernandez, 14 years younger than Messi, curled in a wonderful second. Of the 40,000 plus Argentina fans that have travelled over here, I've met 4 guys who will be more relieved than most that their epic journey to Qatar hasn't gone to waste.
I'm Leandro, he's Silvio, Lucas and Matias. We are 4 Argentinians. We took a flight in May from Argentina to Cape Town in South Africa, and we start to ride all the way crossing Africa and Middle East. 10,000 kilometers, 6 months, 13 countries to arrive here in Doha, in Qatar, for the FIFA World Cup to see Messi maybe won the cup.
It's an unbelievable journey. Just tell me why you decided to travel here by bike.
Because we love the travel, the trips. We love to discover different parts of the world, and we think that Africa and Middle East maybe it's a big deal, a big challenge for us. So we try it.
How tough was it? Tell me about this journey. What were the really tough moments on this journey from Cape Town to Doha?
We think that the best moment was in Africa. Imagine crossing Africa 15 kilometers per hour. You can see all of the animals in the route. You are between 2 natural parks. You have to cross by bike. So all of the animal crossings, zebras, elephants, giraffe, a lot of animal free. This is amazing and nothing. We have a lot of memories of the trip. The people in Africa, it's amazing. Always open the door of them houses, giving you food. The Arab country, amazing too, always giving food. So much hospitality for us. We are so happy. It was 6 months traveling a bike, and it was amazing. We have social media. The people can follow us. We have all of the video and the picture there. Is Todo a Pedal in Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Nothing. In the end of the trip, now when the FIFA World Cup finish, we will do a documentary. So maybe we have luck with Messi and the cup. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, you need a good ending to this World Cup to really make that documentary special. But you seem so happy and you seem full of energy. There must have been tough moments. I mean, the amount of punctures you must have got, the amount of challenging moments. What was the really hard moment on the trip, the really tough moment?
Yeah, we had difficult moments. I don't know when specific, but always your mind, it's saying to you, why you are doing this? Just stop, throw away the bike and take a flight. But nothing. We are always supporting each other, and when someone it's with not so much energy, the other guy helps, say keep pushing, that continue. But the main thing is you have to be strong mentally, thinking good, and physical too, because we are sleeping in a tent every day, and the next day you have to do 100 kilometers and sleep in a tent, uncomfortable, and get up and do 100 kilometers. But this is the most difficult moment. In the rest of the trips, not so much. Someone tried to stall up some bag, but we catch the guy, so not so much. Or some elephant, we try to take a picture and the elephant tried to attack us, but
oh, wow.
But something normal, no, not so much. The rest of the trip was so good.
Not many people will have been attacked by an elephant on their way to the World Cup. It's very good for the environment as well to travel here by bike, and I know that's a big motivation for you, isn't it? There's a big environmental factor to this trip.
Yeah, when we started the trip, we have 3 big objectives. The first one, we got it to arrive here. The second one, make a documentary about all the style of life in Africa and Middle East. And the third one is change 1 kilometer, each kilometer that we ride, for 1 tree in our province, in Cordoba, in Argentina. We have a lot of problems in the environment. They burn a lot the trees in our province, so we want to change the mind of the people, make consciencia.
Conscience.
Yeah, can change the conscience,
the
mind of the people. So we want to change each kilometer that we ride for 1 tree for our province.
And tell me, when it got really tough on the bike ride, Did you have Lionel Messi in your mind, and the fact that at the end of this trip you're going to be able to see Lionel Messi at perhaps his final World Cup? This could be his last ever World Cup.
Yes. The objective and the dream is see Lionel Messi with the cup in this World Cup. We love Messi, we love the football, we love the sport, and we hope the dream of all of Argentine and some people in the other countries will be good for everything.
We have Messi in the t-shirt.
Oh, you have Messi on the t-shirt. So when it got tough, you could look down at Lionel Messi, and he's holding the Copa America on the t-shirt as well. Do you think Argentina are going to win it?
We want. We hope. We crossing fingers every day. When we sleep, just dreaming with the trophy. We stay here, imagining this day, December 18, winning the cup with Messi and all the Argentinian team.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, and all the best to Argentina as well. I'm kind of hoping Argentina win the World Cup for you after you were nearly attacked by an elephant. I think you deserve it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's end the podcast as we started it, with the sound of celebrating Morocco fans. It's been Doha's soundtrack since that amazing 2-0 win over Belgium. They'll be through to the knockout stages of the World Cup for only the second time in their history, with a win or a draw against Canada. Look out for more World Football in Qatar bonus podcasts this week. Thanks for listening, and from Doha, goodbye for now.